Assalamu alaikum and lots of love and respect from my side. This is Sayyid Osama Aziz. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is in continuation to the first video that you watched on my YouTube channel, which was about a demo of a 3D printed robotic hand. Now I have done few updates to this robotic hand, and the updates are mainly related to the wrist joint. So I will be discussing that in this video. The forearm is ready. I had completed it before in the design in SolidWorks, but the problem was that the proper wiring was not defined and electronics was not contained inside this arm. Now it is completely in presentable form. So I thought, why not share it with you people? But before we start our discussion on this robotic arm, let's first have a look at the design first. This robotic arm is designed in SolidWorks, and you can see here how it looks from the fingers to the elbow. This is the elbow part here, and this is wrist. This is 3D printed with a lot of small parts which are joined together using nuts and screws. Here I have made an animation using exploded view, which gives you an idea of how different parts are connected together in this robotic arm. So let's have a look at that first. So this is the exploded view. Now I wanted to show you this exploded view in an animation. So let's animate the explode. So here you can see there are a lot of 3D printed parts, smaller 3D printed parts, which are then screwed together, joined together. Most of them serve as its drive, where some of the parts are gears, bearings, and these, after connecting them together, may constitute this entire robotic arm. I'm 3D printed and then assembled most of these parts prior to making this YouTube channel. Therefore, it was really difficult for me to reopen it and reassemble it in order to make a video. So I thought this would be a great idea in order to show you how this robotic arm is being made. So now I will going to animate its assembly so that you can again see how it works. Yeah, so this is how this robotic arm is made. Now let's see how it works in real time. Okay, so let's talk about the first upgrade to this robotic arm. It's in the wrist joint. So this is how the wrist joint works. It starts from this zero position somewhere around here, and then the servo rotates and it gets to its other extreme, which is 180 degrees, to this point. Now this is very similar to an example of my hand. If you see this hand, it moves from this zero position and to this 180 degrees. So these are the two extremes within which I can rotate my wrist joint, and this is my axis of rotation of my wrist joint. Same is the case over here. This circular area that you see mimics the wrist joint of a humanoid, and around this axis, imagine that the center of this circle is the axis. So around this it revolves from one extreme. Let's say that this is 0, then it moves to another extreme, which is 180 degrees. The motor in the wrist joint is of 270 degrees. It's a servo motor, and I have done some gear reduction in such a way that it translates the 270 degrees rotation of the servo to 180 degrees of the hand. Okay guys, so now let's see this joint in movement. I will connect this electronics to the computer. Now it will start moving, first straight, then it will move to the zero position, then 90 degrees, then back to the other extreme. So let's see. This is one extreme, 0, 90 degrees, and then to the other extreme, which is 180 degrees. So I've written the code so that it fluctuates between these three motions. Now there is a servo motor here, which is 270 degrees servo. So it translates the 270 degrees. There is a gear reduction here, which translates the 270 degrees of the servo to the 180 degrees of the wrist joint. And this is how it works. Now I wanted to come back to its zero position and show you something. Here you can see there is a gap here, a clearance that I've left. But on the other side, there is no clearance. There is a reason behind this sort of clearance, and I want you people to think about it, ponder upon it a little while, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section why there is a gap here that I've left. Of course, it is intentional and there is a reason behind it, and I want you to think about it. Okay, so let's move on to the next movement. The second upgrade to this is again in the wrist joint, and this is located here. The motor for the second axis is here inside this piece, and this allows the entire arm to rotate this way. So you can see that this is the zero position, and imagine that the axis or the axial direction is into the camera, and now it is rotating from around that axis. So this is the other extreme, this is one extreme. I have intentionally blocked its rotation from this one extreme to this second extreme. Now it cannot move forward. And there's a reason behind it, because this is very similar to the motion of our muscle here. With this muscle, we can rotate our wrist to this point, one extreme, and then to this, the other extreme. To move it further, we need to move other muscle. So we will cover in the future video, but right now this upgrade translates to the movement of this muscle. So this is the zero position and then going to the 180 degrees. Same movement you can see here. Now let's plug in the electronics and let's see how it works in movement with the help of a motor. So this is the zero position again, and from here straight and the other extreme back to zero. You can see it in this way as well, and then in the downward direction. This is arm in straight direction, this is 90 degrees and then 180 degrees. So its movements are very similar to how our arm works. This, and then this. Again, this is the zero position, this is 90 degrees, and then this is 180 degrees. Let's talk about the challenge now. The real challenge in designing this robotic hand plus two axes of the arm is in hiding all the electronics, wiring, and motors inside this beautiful casing. That was the real challenge. These are very realistic dimensions, and you will see nothing, no wires, no motors, no electronics, anything at all anywhere here. And even most of the screws are hidden as well. The only wires you see here are also going to be hidden in the upper part of the hand, which we will discuss later in the upcoming videos. So only this part contains 50 plus screws here, and to make this thing it requires a lot of motivation, and some of the time whenever I feel low on motivation, I discuss it with my father, and he is the reason of real support and motivation and my you can say inspiration. And whenever I am down, I feel like I need someone to discuss this with, I always go to him and we discuss these ideas, we discuss about robotic arm, and then eventually the problem gets solved. And this is how we work together.
यार अभी टीवी में खबर देखा था, वो सानिया दोस्त आई थी ना, उसको बेचारे फारिग करते इमरान खान थे।
कोई बात नहीं, हम डिजिटल पाकिस्तान बना देंगे। So that's it from my side, guys. I hope you like the upgrade that I made to this robotic hand. And if you have any comments, any suggestions, any ideas that you want me to work on, or you want me to implement on this robotic hand, then please let me know in the comment section down below. Subscribe. Let's meet into the future videos. Till then, Assalamu alaikum.